So in the last video that I did, I talked about how you can maximize your land and your oil palm plantation for more profit. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you a cost estimate and a guide to setting up a 5-ton palm oil milling and processing plant in Nigeria. And this is going to be for 3.5 acres. Now, whatever I'm going to be giving to you is what has been done, tested, and trusted. And I'm going to be giving you directly from what I have done. And for those who have watched my videos on Palm City, all these kind of facilities are going to be made available at Palm City. But for those of you who want to do this thing individually, and probably you are outside of the southwest region of Nigeria, so I don't know which ever you are watching this, you might be in the diaspora and also want to invest in Nigeria. So that is the major reason why I'm setting up this video. That is why I'm doing this. So this is the 5th video among a series of video. I promised 10, but we might exceed that. So starting a palm oil milling and processing plant can be a very lucrative business venture. Why? Because this allows you to be able to maximize enough profit from your investment. So, and particularly in Nigeria, where the palm oil is a very vital raw material in so many industries. This guide that I'm about to give you is going to give you a breakdown of the costs and process of setting up a 5-ton palm oil milling and processing plant. By the end of this guide, you will be able to have a clearer understanding of the equipment required, the associated costs, and the steps necessary to establish a successful palm oil processing business. To ensure that wherever of you that want to start this, I will be dropping the cost starting from 1 ton palm oil processing plant or less. Yeah, that's where I'm going to start from. Anyone who will be processing from 1 ton, I'll take it from the beginning. So I will also consider the manual equipment. I will also consider the automatic and also integrated palm oil extraction and processing line equipment. The reason why I'm doing this is because of we all watching this video, we can't be equal in terms of finances. So I'm going to be giving a breakdown from what you can start with, because it's good for you. If you have funds to start with manual, you go for manual. That is just it. If you have funds for the integrated, you go for the integrated. For automatic, go for automatic. So the benefits of this guide is number 1, clarity on investment. It will help you understand the financial commitment that is required, helping you to allocate resources efficiently, because a lot of people just talk about oil palm, and they won't give you the deep down analysis of what can help you be able to maximize enough profit from this. That is just it. Then they leave you to go and do research on your own, and when you do research on the internet, you just give you different kind of estimates that you cannot work with, or they give you something from other countries. But whatever I'm stating here, apart from the figures, is something that can work anywhere. That is just it. So the second benefit of this guide is detailed equipment list to help you get a clear overview of the necessary machinery for both manual and automatic processing setups. Just like I've said earlier, even if the cost doesn't suit to wherever you are watching this video from, definitely the materials which have been listed is something that you can use and can work anywhere. Then the number 3 is operational insight. You will learn more about the labor requirements and operational steps, ensuring the smooth running of your plant. Then number 4 is profit estimation. By the end of this video, you are going to get a total profit estimation of what you will get, and this is the cheat code, because I'll make sure that we are going to take this down to the level of we extracting the cost of everything, then the cost of the oil palm and everything, then you achieve your profit. That's just it. So we have methods of palm oil production, and I'm going to be giving you the 3 methods. Just make sure you cut your coat according to your size. Put whatever finance you have can work in these 3 categories. That is just it. Don't wait. Start. If you use manual, you can start with it like I just like I've said earlier. So the first is the manual method. The manual method of palm oil production is labor intensive. Note that, and it involves series of steps to be carried out primarily by hand or with basic mechanical assistance. This method is typically suitable for small scale production. If you are operating on small scale production, you are good to go with this. When I mean small scale production, let's just say you're operating from let's just say 10 acres. To some extent, you can still go with that if you have the right labor and you're ready to put the right labor in it. You can do that. Then we have the semi-automatic method. The semi-automatic method combines both manual labor with some mechanical equipment to increase efficiency and output. This method is often used by small-scale producers. The last method is the integrated palm oil extraction and processing line, which is the fully automatic method. This fully automatic method includes advanced machinery to help automate the entire production process, minimizing manual labor and maximizing efficiency. This method is very ideal for large-scale production. Equipment and assets and tools for the mill are all automatic, and you won't need so much laborers for this, unlike the manual method. That's the juicy part of this. And if you are on large scale, honestly, you have to just go for this. If you are from 20 acres and above, honestly, you just have to go for this, because if we say 60 oil palm trees can be planted on 1 acre, that is 60. If I say 60 by times, if you say 60 trees times 20, that will give us like 1,200 trees. 1,200 trees is not a small deal. So right now I'm going to be going into the core processing equipment and also the cost. So let me open the whiteboard here. Oh wow. So I've given everything here. So the first is the thresher. The thresher separates the fruits from the bunches, and the thresher costs between 700k to 1.5 million. And the second equipment is the steam boiler stroke the sterilizer. What this does is that it cooks the fruits, killing the enzymes and softening the pulp. Now the manual cost for this goes for 250,000 naira. That's for the manual equipment. You know, I talked about the fact that we have three types of equipment which can be used. So the manual goes for 250,000 naira, and for the machine operated it costs between 1.4 to 3 million naira. That's just, you know, when we talk about equipment of whatever you want to use, either farming equipment, house equipment, you know, they have grade. They are in grade. So the more work, the versatility of the product, you know, the cost will also go higher, and determine and also the manufacturer will also definitely determine. So that's why this costs are in range, so that I don't give you a fixed estimate. So but at least it shouldn't be less than this as at this time when I'm shooting this video. So the third core processing equipment is the digester. What the digester does is that it crushes and digests palm fruits, and this digester, for manual, is going for, sells for 350,000 naira, and for the machine operated it costs 500,000 naira. Digester, 500,000 naira. And the advanced, which is that one can screw and also extract the oil. You know, normally is to just crush and digest the palm fruit normally, but the reason why this one costs this amount, this one costs 1.4, is because this one will screw and also extract the oil. And it's just it. So we now have another core processing equipment called press. What press does is that it extracts the oil from the pulp, and for manual it's going for 300,000, and it also does the same work with the digester. So you would actually have to need a combination of the digester, press, and then extractor. Everything all together comes up to make the press and the digester as well. So we have another core processing equipment called clarifier. Clarifier, it removes impurities from the oil, and the clarifier costs between 390k to 500. Then we also have another equipment called the palm kernel cracker. This cracker breaks open the palm kernels, and it's cost between 250,000 naira for small the small one without extractor. So without extractor costs 250,000 naira, but we have another one that goes for 1.8 million here. Is a cracker machine with shell operator, and it can work in processing the oil palm as heavy as 250 kg per hour. So another core processing equipment is the palm kernel oil extractor. This one extracts oil from the kernels, and the manual goes for kernel extractor. Oh, I wrote cracker here. The extractor wasn't written here. I missed the extractor. The extractor manual is 400,000. Extractor. Sorry, I couldn't write comfortably here. Manual is 400k. So the extractor manual is 400, and the machine operated one is between 1.4 to 3 million naira. So, and another core processing equipment is pumps. Pumps is used for transferring liquid and slurries, and it is optional. It's actually optional, and it's going for 250,000 naira. It's not necessary you get that equipment. So another core processing equipment which you need is tanks, storage for water, oil, and other materials. So the cost of tank now is from 30,000 naira, 8,000 naira for 200 liter, then 60,000 naira for 1,000 liter. And these are industrial. This is for the industrial tank. Then that's for industrial tanks. It's for industrial tanks. Industrial tanks. It's currently on your screen. That's how industrial tanks look like. So the tank strictly for water is 150,000 naira, and 1.5 million naira will be needed to be spent for a tank, big tank for oil. So you also need conveyors. And conveyors is used for transporting materials within the mill. It is optional if you are into small scale oil palm plantation, but if you are in a large integrated oil palm plantation, you really need that. Now it's time to move to the supporting equipment and assets part. Now for the supporting equipment and assets, we are going to be needing so many equipment, and the first is the generator. Generator is a backup for power supply, because if you are operating in Africa, and most especially in Nigeria, you must need a generator, and for generator it costs between 800k to 5 million. And another supporting equipment and assets needed are weighing scales, and it is actually optional, but it is used to measure raw materials and finished goods. Despite it being optional, I think it's something which should be made available, and that goes for 185k, because there's no how you want to export produce that you wouldn't need a scale to measure them. So another equipment needed is the laboratory equipment, which is optional for quality control, like refractometer and acidity tester. It's actually optional, but if you are operating on a very large scale, I think you should definitely have this. And also operating on a large scale, you need the weighing scales. So another equipment needed is the packaging equipment. The packaging equipment is for packaging the final product, like drums, bottles, labeling machines, and this can be done manually from 300k. And you would also definitely need office equipment like computers, printers, telephone, because if you're operating on a large scale, you should definitely be having a quite long distance among farmers, right from people at the plant at the oil palm plantation, and also people that are also right at the mill, and also people who are at the office. You need all those kind of things to be able to prepare your balance sheet for your business, to give accounts and the likes. You just need all those kind of things. And I would also like you to be able to have a very good accountant for your funds and accounting for everything that we are doing, because every of these things that we are doing that involves estimate has to be calculated well, so that you can be able to get your profit well. So that is why, and an accountant will definitely need all this equipment which I talked about. You need to get this done. And another thing that will be needed is provision for transportation, like trucks, tractors, or other vehicles for transporting finished products. And for Nigerian used trucks cost 4.5 m, and the foreign used goes for 9.5 million plus. Because if you want to be going for something totally new, it's going to be very expensive, and it doesn't worth it buying a new vehicle for anything for transportation, because this is a farm produce. It's not as if it's something that you're using for a very I mean something that you're using for a personal use. Let me just put it that way, because it's for the business. So the truck doesn't have to be too fine. So just make sure that it's something that is of good quality. So that's just it. So you could just work within this budget. So something else to look into is the tools and accessories. For the tools, we need hand tools, which involves hammers, wrenches, screwdrivers, and pliers, which ranges between 10k to 50,000 naira. Another thing you also need are safety equipment. You need stuffs like helmets, gloves, goggles, boots, and fire extinguishers went for 150k to 400k altogether. The reason why all these ranges are like this is because take for instance here in the transmission where I said Nigeria used 4.5 and foreign goes for 9.5. The reason why this is like this is because Nigeria foreign. So that is how this estimate is also like. If you're buying if you buy Nigeria used one, you know the price it will be. If you buy foreign used one, that's how it's going to be. So that's why I'm having this range here, and I don't want a situation whereby I would give you an over promise, then there will be an under delivery. Are you getting me right now? So that is just how it is. So the helmet and arm glove can, and the fire extinguisher, it may vary, but all these kind of things, these things are they are not optional. These tools and accessory parts, they are not optional at all. They are not optional at all because safety is everything. If fire catches up whatever is being set up there, it is gone. That is just it. So this place is something very crucial. It's very crucial. Prevention is better than cure. That is just it. So another equipment to look into is the cleaning equipment, broom, hoses, and detergents, going for 50,000 naira. And you shouldn't take this option at all because definitely you want to make sure that wherever you are doing your business is clean. It's clean, because if you be taking your produce, exporting it, it should smell nice. There are some kind of oil that you just perceive. There's some oil you perceive and you just feel pissed off with the kind of smell it is. Why? Where it was being produced was not well cleaned and not well sterilized, and the hygienic part was not being taken serious at all. So as little as all these things are, it can affect your production, and I wouldn't like for you to overlook on this. Then another thing to look into is the wheelbarrow for use for moving farm produce, which is 50,000 naira. And this wheelbarrow can also be used to move the palm fruit from the tree down to the place when the vehicle, if the vehicle, probably the vehicle might not move them, because if you're on a massive harvest, definitely the vehicle can move them, but the wheelbarrow should be made available at least to just take some little things from place to place for you. That is just it. So another aspect which I didn't list on the board here is the land, because I know that one you can definitely, you will have gotten that one on your own, and if you want me to get that for you, the farmland, I can definitely get that for you. As you know, it's the real estate guru here. I can get that for you. And another thing is the mill building. Is the mill building where I wrote that here, the mill building. So to house the processing equipment with a roof, the size and structure depends on the budget and preference, because for an open structure it will cost you, let's just say 800k. Then for a closed structure it's going to cost you 3 million for a closed structure, at least to keep the equipment safe, and it must be roofed so rain don't get into that place at all, and it's not good for the equipment at all. It should be well built with also a nice ventilation as well. Then another thing to also put into consideration is the borehole and water treatment system for water supply, which ranges between 500k to 1.5. This estimate is just depending on wherever you are and whoever the supply is, and whichever the relationship might be between you and whoever is doing it, but it should be between this price range. Then another thing to take into consideration is the storage facilities for raw materials and finished products, and also spare parts of machine. There must be a storage facility and that one would cost between 500 to also 1.5 million. So this should be take note of whenever you are setting up your meal. So just like I said earlier, office spaces for administrative tasks, that should also be made available. Administrative tasks includes the accountant and you're also the farm manager in general. At least the two key people that you should have is the farm manager and also the accountant, because the farm manager will definitely oversee every of the activities going on right at the farm, and the accountant is to make account of everything which has been done. And you need an accountant right from the day one of when you are setting up your meals. That person must be appointed, because that's where they will be writing all the costs and everything. Then you will do the subtraction on everything, then that leads you to how you will be able to finalize your profits. I'm still going into that aspect of that calculations, accounting stuffs. I'm going to go into something like that very soon. Then also another infrastructure and facilities that need to be done is the staff quarters, accommodation for workers. Now, if you're operating on a large scale, you really need to provide accommodation for workers, because oil palm is something which needs total diligence, and if you want people to be committed, make sure they have accommodation, and when they are paid, they could just use whatever funds you give to them to just feed themselves and their family. So far, accommodation is out of whatever they are worrying about. I know they should be able to work well for you, because no matter what estimate I'm giving right in this video, if you are not having dedicated workers, the business can't move well. So having dedicated workers is something very, very important, and that you should take note of. So the cost of equipment and facilities for manual processing method, 1 to 3 ton per day is what is being currently displayed on your screen. I'm displaying that on your screen right now. You can see that. So now also the cost of equipment and facilities for an automatic integrated processing plant is also currently on your screen. Now to the conclusion of everything. I've been talking about everything about the meal and the likes, the equipment needed, facilities, and everything, blah blah blah. Now I want to go into the conclusion of everything overall. Now, starting from the manual equipment aspect, the manual equipment for setting up 1 ton to 3 ton per day will cost you between 1,650,000 naira and 2,850,000 naira, depending on where you source your equipment. I've been saying this from the beginning of this video, and I'll keep saying it. Whatever price range being given to you is depending on where you get your equipment. So I won't just give you something fixed. So when you go to make research on it, or you go to price them, it's now be something different. But so far it is within the range that I give to you. I know definitely I did my best. So the second is a 2 ton complete equipment, which should cost you 3,300,000 naira. And the third is a 5 ton automatic and integrated equipment, which would cost you between 7,100,000 naira and 11,600,000 naira. Then the fourth is the imported equipment, which would cost you up to $35,200 with a 10 ton per day capacity. You know, this is large, this is massive. That is just it. So if you don't have all it takes right now to set up a palm oil mill, I would just like you to just use any commercial oil mill within your axis where you have your plantation. You could just start from there. Then from there you move into setting up your own mill, because I wouldn't want a situation whereby you're waiting. If let's say, most especially if you're operating on a small scale level, I wouldn't want you to wait until you get your own mill before you start. Fine, those who want to operate on a large scale means from like let's just say from like 50 to 100 acres and above, they could definitely have the fund to definitely do that, because there's no someone who would want to set up a large plantation as large as that will not be able to buy at least a manual equipment. Definitely, you should definitely be able to do that. You should definitely be able to do that. A manual equipment costing from 1.6 to 2.8. You should definitely be able to do that at least. So, but if you can't be able to do that and you're operating on a small scale level, just contact the commercial mill around wherever you have your farm settlement. And I know most especially those of you who might be watching from the east part of Nigeria, it could be southeast. I know you definitely have access to all those kind of things, because I know in that axis that is your key strength. So that is just it. If you really love this video and you learned a lot from it, please make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on the notification button so you definitely get updates of my next videos. Peace.